Warning, the Anime Egotists have opinions about stuff and other stuff. Please understand this while watching the video and know that no opinion is a fact, not even yours. So please enjoy the video, or don't. And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where our waifus are quality, but we are not. You got me, the leader, sort of, because nobody else wanted it, Foster. I'm joined by my co-host,
Williamson.
Anything you want to say to the people? Any catchphrases or nothing?
No.
Very interesting. And we got our boy at the bottom, but not at the bottom of our hearts, Jogger Samoa Joe. No, just JoggerJoee.
And your cucumbers are overgrown and your garden is soft.
Sure, that's the phrase. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
And today we are here to talk about Pokemon for like the 10 millionth time. You know, you guys could ask us to talk about something else, like unless you're just cool with this, but that's okay.
Maybe we should change the name. We're the Pokemon Egotists.
I mean, that might work, but we already have the shirts printed and everything. Regardless.
I'm not sued by the company again, so let's not.
That's a good point. But regardless, we're here to talk about Pokemon again. But we're here at the Anime Egotists. We try to promote positivity and enjoying stuff. But today we're going to be talking about Pokemon characters that don't make us want to do that. Pokemon characters that just sort of frustrate us in the long run. Pokemon characters that you could say we just don't like. Any criteria?
Are we trying to be positive? Are you positive about that? I mean, I did definitely go on a rant about trying to fight a barber. So.
That's positive.
Yeah, he deserved it. So
yeah, of course.
I'll give you all that.
Yes, but with a video like this, obviously there are opinions, and there are going to be some characters you might like on this list. We might forget about some. That's okay. That's fine. Put in the comments who you would have wanted to see, and just maybe we'll talk about it. And of course, if you disagree, then maybe you just. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe like, come on. Maybe our list is just better than yours.
I agree.
Yeah. But before we begin, I always like to give a shout because we have 2 new subscribers, Joe Bob 15 and Forever Weirdo 32. You'd have to be pretty weird to be excited by our content, but regardless, thanks so much for subscribing. Please. You guys have anything to say to our new subscribers? Go for it.
Williamson?
like always, I just want to say thank you. We really do appreciate it. I know we always joke about that our opinion's right and you're wrong, but here we do want to hear from y'all. So if you have any interest, if there's a character that we leave off at the end, please leave a comment down below and let us know who you found annoying.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all could have subscribed to anybody else. Y'all chose us, so I mean.
Yeah, and obviously when we say stuff like when we disagree, if you disagree, we're wrong, we say that like we're actually serious, but in reality, we're covering up for very dark and insecure moments in our lives. Yeah, but anyways, Pokemon characters that we don't like. Boys, do we have a certain criteria or list for this? What would you say for it?
So, to put it to start, we're only talking about characters that we've seen in the anime. We're not talking about them as they were in the video games and other versions. So, and of course, they can include both humans, trainers, non-trainers, and and Pokemon. There are certain Pokemon that we do have on our list.
Yes. Also, we are also going to talk about the movies just a little bit. I don't feel like we have too many movie characters, but there's a few.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the characters that were with the main character, Ash. And we're talking about the ones who traveled with Ash for an extended number of episodes, maybe half a season, a whole season. However you may see.
Yeah, which means there might be some companions on this list. So, yeah. Hopefully you stick around before you say something hurtful. Watch the whole video, then put a thumbs down. That'll be perfectly okay. But we've stalled for long enough. Let's begin. And Williamson, who is your first character? And we're going to try and go from generation to generation. Williamson, who is your first character on this list?
So for Gen 1, I started out with something that I had a vague recollection about and actually had to look it up. It's a Pokemon. The name is Meow Z. Now, I don't know if you know which episode this is from.
Yeah. But tell our audience regardless.
So, Meow Z is a Gen 1 Meowth. She and Team Rocket's Meowth falls in love with it. And it's at one of like a day spa or something. So, Meowth goes through all of this in like the span of an episode. They show Meowth learning to walk, talk on like a human, just to get rejected again, being called a freak. And then Meow Z gets taken in by a wild Persian after her owner loses money, only to then have Meowth come and try to win her back, or win her over, only to get rejected again. It's like, it's such a hard thing to watch, and I hate her for rejecting Meowth after all he went through. They show him going through like months of learning how to do all this just to please her, and he fails.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love how a lot of lists would be like, oh, well, this character is so annoying, it doesn't develop a lot, and we just go straight for, I didn't like this character because they were mean to somebody I liked. Like that, it feels like that should be the more appropriate response to these videos. But yeah, justified. Meow Z, she is the worst. She's awful.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I remember watching that episode, when I was younger, and I was just like, dang, bro, you went through all that. Bro, don't even waste your time on it, bro. It's not worth it. You can find somebody better, bro. I promise.
Yeah, and he found two friends that were even better.
Exactly.
So Meow Z, we're all in agreement. We're all in agreement for that. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, JoggerJoee, who is? I always get concerned because whenever JoggerJoee starts in any of our videos, it always ends up getting weird. But hopefully this time we can all go to a nice.
I'll be honest. I will be 100% honest. I had one for Gen 1. But then upon thinking about it, I have a second one. And since we've started with a Pokemon, I'm going to start with a Pokemon.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a lot of people who are going to probably try to slice my throat for this when I say what I'm about to say. But Pikachu, from the first gen, when I say this, I'm talking about the attitude and the freaking just sheer, I don't even know what to call it, that he gave Ash the first few episodes that he had him. And he just hated everything about Ash. And he just literally took every chance he could to either try to electrocute the man or just leave him. And I can't stand him. I really can't. Like, I really was like, bro, you should have went with a different Pokemon for all this mess that you having to deal with. Like, dang, what would the story have been like if you would have gotten the Charmander right off the bat instead of having to get one later? How would the story have been different? Shoot, he probably would have won a couple tournaments if it wasn't for that.
Oh, I just saw another character. But yeah, I agree. It especially doesn't work because if you've watched Pokemon Journeys and you've seen Pikachu's backstory and everything about how kind it was treated from spoiler alert, how nice it was being treated by Kangaskhan and all the other Pokemon out in the wild, only just to be like, I could electrocute this guy a couple times and I'd be good. Like, there's no real connection between this sweet Pikachu who we see getting rescued and everything, and then just electrocuting Ash. But Ash deserved it later on, in my opinion.
Later on, sure, but I'm just like, when you first start off, like, Ash literally was like, bro, I'm so excited. I finally got a Pokemon. I'm going to take on the world. I'm going to be the greatest Pokemon trainer ever. And then this freaking electric rat.
Oh, by the way, Ash, Pikachu can shoot electricity. Yeah, thanks, Professor Oak. Thanks, really.
And it's just like, yo, this freaking, like I said, this electric rat decides, oh man, you know what? I don't even care. I'm gonna electrocute him as much as I can. Maybe he'll die, and I can go back and try to find that Kangaskhan. And it's just, it's infuriating because I'll be honest, that really almost made me not want to be a fan because I'm just like, bro, if this is how Pokemon treat their trainers, I don't want to be no doggone trainer, man. Screw y'all.
Especially considering in all the video games, your Pokemon, the second you get your first Pokemon, it loves you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just thought of another reason that, and this happens throughout actually season 1 with Pikachu. It falls in love with ketchup. I'm not joking. There are multiple episodes where it falls in love or is walking around with a bottle of ketchup.
And that's a reason to hate it?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I like ketchup, but to love ketchup, and that becomes a trope.
Literally,
please, Mr. Sour Straw, I don't want to hear it from you.
No, but no. Pikachu fell in love with the freaking ketchup. He cried more when the ketchup bottle was broken than when he did when Ash got turned into stone.
Well, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, that leads into a character I hate from Gen 1, Mewtwo. No, hear me out. Hear me out before you decide to leave. Hear me out. This is look, 4Kids. We all poke fun at 4Kids, but if it wasn't for 4Kids, we probably wouldn't be into as many shows as we are right now. But they screwed up the first movie. The first Pokemon movie, for those of you who don't know, in the Japanese version, Mewtwo was pretty much destined to be a failed clone because there was a scientist trying to clone his deceased daughter. He tried it with Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and he cloned his deceased daughter eventually, and Mewtwo. But it got to the point to where all the other Pokemon and his daughter, the clones were fading away. And as the clones were fading away, the daughter was like, hey, don't let anybody control your life. Be your own being and stuff like that. Kind of making him a more or less tragic character. The English version, some scientists created me in a lab and I hate them for some reason. And then he brutally killed all of them. No Shadow Realm, no Sand Cough, no nothing. He just brutally killed everybody in that laboratory. And then when
Thanos snap. Look, wasn't no Thanos snap, wasn't no going to the gulag to come back, nothing. It's just that darkness.
Yeah, not only that, and then Giovanni shows up like, hey, we should be partners. And Mewtwo's like, okay, yeah. I'm like, wait. So you don't like humans, but you're going to trust this human.
Yep.
And then several months later, Giovanni's like, oh, I was just using you. And then Mewtwo destroys the lab. He doesn't try to destroy Giovanni, but he just... It's like, okay, so I'm going to kill all these professors and everything. Giovanni, you actually betrayed me. Nah, you can live.
I completely agree. They really messed up by removing the backstory elements that would have told why Mewtwo doesn't like humans.
Yeah, and then at the end, he's just like, oh, Pokemon weren't meant to fight? Not like this. Not like this! It's just like the whole movie, and he tried to emphasize the message of, it's like, hey, all you do is make your Pokemon fight. I'm like, actually, most of our Pokemon like fighting with us. If they don't want to fight, we don't generally try to make them. Yeah. So Mewtwo really just, and I understand it's mainly a 4Kids thing because they try to make it more kid-like and stuff like that, but it's still, I don't like
I can understand that, yes.
Okay, who's next? Who wants to go next for Gen 1 characters?
This is my only other one I have, and it's another short one real quick. It's a character whose name is literally Nastina. It's a one-off character from a band episode that I actually managed to see.
Okay.
She is the bad guy from the band Tentacool episode, where they, if I remember the story for it correctly, she is building some sort of hotel or some sort of building on a coral reef that's the home for the Tentacool and Tentacruel. And they attack, and of course the episode's banned because there's the giant tentacle destroying buildings.
I was about to say, I thought that episode got unbanned at some point, but yeah, sure, I know what you
Maybe
mean.
it has. I just know that at some point it was banned. But she's the main bad guy from that one, and from what I remember, she's just bad. I've only seen the episode once, but I just remember hating her. Like they actually had it so that you hated her. I can't.
Yeah, she was also in another banned episode.
Oh God.
Yeah, she was in the banned episode with the bikini contest with James. Yeah.
Man, that episode is responsible for a lot of fan fiction nowadays.
I'm not even gonna touch on that. I'm not gonna touch it. So who's your character? But yes, I understand she's lame. Got it.
So similar to my last pick for Gen 1, I have another character that people are probably gonna try to jump down my throat for because, well, just a big staple of the first part of the show. But Misty, I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I feel like Misty gave nothing to the show in terms of like her being there didn't necessarily affect Ash's overall journey. Like, yes, it helped bring the team together. It helped bring, like, her brought Misty, like, her brought Ash. Like, it made the team, like, that's the OG team we all think about. But it's just like, to be honest, I could not think of any real reason that removing her would have actually changed anything from what happened with Ash. And this is more than just me saying this to be mean, but like for all of the like companions that he had, she was the only one that gave him crap every turn that she could. Like, yeah, other companions, other people who like walked around with Ash, like, yeah, they gave him a competitive spirit. They ribbed him every now and again, but it's like almost every other word out of her mouth was something trash or something negative to Ash. Like, shut your ass up, Misty. Don't nobody want to hear you say nothing negative about this man. He's the main character of the show. Who are you? A failed Pokemon trainer who's following in the shadows of her sister. Leave Ash alone. At least he's trying to carve out his own destiny. You out here following a 10-year-old who doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Like, come on. Like, damn. You could have had anything else you wanted to do with your life. Anything. But you decided to follow a 10-year-old who barely can control his electric rat, who beat your ass in a Pokemon battle, if my memory serves me correctly.
Sort of.
And it's just like, come on. I couldn't stand it. And it's like everybody always wanted to drive that, like, oh, you're being so mean to him because you like him. But shut up. Hey, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of her.
So, anything you'd like to add, Williamson? Anything at all?
I mean, I like Misty. So I'm not in 100% agreement, but I can understand that. Yeah, there could have been definitely more character development for her that would have definitely helped the entire story with them.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I do love her character for is in like the third, I want to say it's like the third episode when Ash just randomly catches a Pidgeotto, but he tries to send Caterpie after it, and afterwards she's just like, Caterpie is a worm, Pidgeotto's a bird. Birds eat worms, dummy. And she's like, well, and he's like, well, if you just keep trying, and she gives him a reality check, like, no, it doesn't matter how hard you try sometimes. Sometimes it's just not going to work. You have to think about this stuff sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad somebody said it. Did he learn from that? Not completely. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I will say the one thing I didn't like about Misty personally, the one thing I just didn't, well, two things. One was overall, she was so hard on Psyduck. I felt bad for Psyduck a lot of the time. It's just like, oh, hey, you want my Psyduck? I'm like, well, yeah, but he seems to like you, so you should hang on to him. And she's like, but he's so dopey. I'm like, he's like your strongest Pokemon.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because that brings me to another reason why I don't like her. She really, like, when she got that freaking Togepi, she was just like, oh my God, that is the best thing ever. It's like, you have other Pokemon, woman. I'm not going to call her what I really want to call her. I'm going to just say woman. You have other Pokemon. Treat them with the same love and respect. Keep that same energy. Treat them like your babies, too, because they're your babies. They're the ones who's actually going to help you in a freaking Pokemon battle. That Togepi was useless for the majority of the episodes that we saw it.
Okay, I'm glad you brought. Wow, you're a mind reader today because I'm also going to bring up another thing. Hey, when they got the Togepi egg, they're like, "Oh, it's hatching. What's happening?" Hey, and then Missy's like, "Oh, let me see," and just bursts her head into frame and grabs the egg. I'm just like, really? We could have just put it on the ground or something so Togepi. And then it leads to, oh, I guess I get to get Togepi because it thinks I'm its mother. I'm like, yeah, that's because you pushed everybody out of the way just to see it.
Another point is that the egg was actually found by Ash, because it was supposed to be Ash's and cared for by Brock.
Well, I was about to say. Well, then again, Brock is the main person who cared about Charmander, and Ash got Charmander. But that's another point for another day.
Yeah.
Oh no! But I do remember my least favorite Misty moment ever, and this isn't a I hate you, but this is more of a just silly moment because I do like Misty, but I can understand your point. Like, for example. Remember the episode where Ash caught Bulbasaur?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, they were talking about, oh, Ash, you need more strength because Butterfree's not that strong. And, oh, God, they did Pidgeotto so dirty that whole series. But regardless, Ash was looking around for a Pokemon, and he sees an Oddish, like, getting some water or something like that. He's like, oh, an Oddish, I'm going to catch that. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to catch an Oddish. That's cool, that's fine. And then Missy's like, wait, no, you should let me get it. And then Ash is like, but I'm the one who has to improve my team. And plus, I saw it first. And Missy's like, but we found it near water. And water is my specialty. And I'm like, that doesn't, what? What? Hey, Williamson, you see that Ariados over there? I need to capture it more than you do. I'm a water trainer, and it's probably had water sometime at some point in its life, so it's mine. So, yeah.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, we've dealt with Misty long enough. My next character, Jezebel.
Okay, yeah, I was debating putting her and James's parents on this list.
Oh, well, that's good because I also put James's parents on there. Almost the worst family in Pokemon, and I'm sure there's another one out there, but dear God.
Yeah, the whole arranged marriage thing. Well, it helped James's character for understanding why he's run away and become part of Team Rocket. The fact that they're a recurring character for the first two series.
And then they do that whole story where everybody thinks James is dead because he's talking about in the flashback. And Misty's like, guys, James is right there. And James is like, oh, that's right. I'm here. I'm like, James, sweetie. That's another list for another time. Regardless, who's the last person on my list? Oh, from the so Orange Islands count as Gen 1, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ish.
Okay.
They're like the transition period.
We might as well
Gen 2.
I think it's still close enough to like before they actually were in the second gen that we could count them.
Yeah. You guys remember the Kangaskhan kid? It was some kid who was in a loincloth and he was living with a bunch of Kangaskhan. It's like very first season.
Now I remember. Yes.
Okay, his parents are the worst parents in the history of Pokemon. Forget what I said about James. These are the worst parents in the history of Pokemon. They let their son dangle out of the helicopter. They drop him, and they barely seem sorry about it. They're like, oh, no, he's falling. Oh, it's pretty much exactly like that. And I'm like, really? You just lost your, like, newborn child that you let dangle out of a helicopter, and you're just like, well,
Dang, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. He did dangle. Man, Michael Jackson needs to step his game up then. They dangled this child out of a freaking helicopter.
that is wrong. That is so wrong on so many levels. But that's in the so Tommy's parents. That was the kid's name, Tommy.
Oh, man.
They were terrible. And
They
finally,
were.
yeah, finally, Mayor Trovitopoulos. I have no idea how to pronounce that.
Now, before you say anything, is he the mayor from where there's something taking people into the sewers or something like that? Okay.
Yes. Because he when he's a kid, he just decides, you know what, this rare starter Bulbasaur, no, I'm gonna send it to the sewer, and he just abandons that damn Bulbasaur. Also, whoever abandoned Charmander, I'm adding him.
He's actually in the episode because Ash battles him at the end.
Jesus, people who abandon Pokemon are scum.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I feel like we're talking about characters who, for the most part, deserve it. We need to start getting more controversial. We need to start listing characters who actually deserve it, which I think we're going to get to in Gen 2. But we're all done with Gen 1?
I think so.
Yeah, I can't.
All right.
Again, as we said, there's probably someone that you find annoying that we've missed. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to go back and watch every single episode to figure out every annoying character.
Especially considering a lot of these characters are just one-timers. So you're going to forget about a lot of them. But anyways, Gen 2. Who do we dislike from Gen 2?
Okay, I guess I'll start again. Yeah. So the first one I thought of, and this is a recurring character from Gen 2, okay, and this is based on whatever, if this didn't autocorrect like some of my other ones did. Her name is Madam Much Money.
No, that sounds about right. Madam Much Money, that sounds about right.
And she owns Snubbull and smothers it.
No, it's Much Money. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
right. And you see her, I think at least 2 times after her first episode, where they're trying to find Snubbull, and again, this leads to Snubbull going after Meowth because it wants to bite Meowth's tail. It fell in love with Meowth's tail, and that's how apparently Snubbull show affection.
You know, I've heard of getting tail, but this is ridiculous.
But she's just... But to go back to Much Money, she's almost the exact opposite. Instead of abandoning Pokemon, she's taking a Pokemon that doesn't want to be babied and then babying it. And it's why? It has its own personality and it doesn't like what you're doing.
It doesn't like you and your money. Leave it alone. Anyways, do you have any Gen 2?
To be honest, I really don't. I feel like, honestly, if you guys like to be honest, I don't really have a Gen 2 character Pokemon, anybody that I felt so strongly that I would put on my list of people that I would dislike. Granted, I'm sure once you guys talk it out, I'm sure I'll probably think about it. But
but getting back, Much Money was just annoying, like kind of on the other spectrum of kind of, I guess, demonstrating that both sides of the spectrum suck, but still, like, just Much Money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate you because you reminded me of this, and I thought to myself, this character's not so bad. And then I started watching more of the episodes that this character's in, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I can see it. So my character, Casey. The Electabuzz. Okay, for those of you who don't know, the girl who is a baseball fan and is a fan of the Electabuzz and keeps cheering them. And so, like, it's just annoying at some point, like, because we all know sports fans and who have teams that suck but support them regardless. But those fans aren't singing 24/7 and times thing. Like, besides her chanting, I remember nothing else about anything she said, other than the fact that Ash burned her several times just by talking. Hey, what do you think about the Electabuzz? The Electabuzz suck. I've seen better swings on the playground. I'm like, but yeah, Casey. I just don't remember her doing anything that important besides the chanting, which it's not even like Team Rocket's motto where you get used to it. It's got its own charm to it. It feels like she's off key with it too. That's the weird part.
I can understand that. I'm not as offended by it as Alex is, but the thing I actually remember that I really didn't like was Ash wins the bug catching competition in Johto. That's actually in the game. He catches a Beedrill and wins the Sunstone, and then
That's right.
he turns around and gives his Beedrill to Casey. It's like, that's your Pokemon. No, you don't give Pokemon to people without trade. You trade.
I feel like you can trade. Like that Electabuzz. Give it to me. No, but and on the other hand, that makes her look even worse. It's like, hey, you couldn't get this Pokemon all by yourself, so I'm gonna give it to you. I'll always be better.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. One Pokemon, and I know this is really kind of off touch. One Pokemon that I really kind of just could not stand. Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, I can kind of see
the
that.
reason I couldn't, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, is because he's just over entitled, egotistical ass. Like I hate. Like, you're a Pokemon. Motherfucker, I will turn you into lunch meat. Like, my goodness, you're a pet. You're a pet for elitist people in this universe, and at work, at best, you're a companion to a trainer. At worst, you're a pet to the elitist. Like, figure out where you belong in that situation. Because I promise you, if I have to sit through another one of these Squirtle Squad motherfuckers talking about some squat, like, I will kick you across. Oh my God, I'll kick you all the way to Orange Island. Get out my face.
I was about to say, I do remember at the end of the Squirtle Squad episode, it's like, after all the things they've done, they saved everybody at the end, so we're going to give them a spot on the, like, what was it, fire department or whatever it was?
Fire department.
Yeah, and I remember in the abridged series that somebody did, it's like, oh, what happened with the Squirtle? Were they redeemed for helping everybody? And it's just like, no. Once we learned that they were helping out Team Rocket, the Squirtles were arrested for aiding and abetting. I'm like, oh, I could see that because they got on my nerves a little bit. But to give you a quote for what you would do if you had to deal with the Turtle Squad, permission to quote the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, it popped into my mind because I don't know where this popped into my mind. Just a random, and I'm pretty sure he was a one-off, but I just thought about him. Glider Man. That old, wrinkly, past his prime piece of trash.
I was debating putting him on my list.
Do you know how
he's real?
Easy?
Yes.
Like,
I thought he was.
No, I had the VHS tape that had this episode.
I honestly thought he was just a fever dream that only I saw. He's not real. You're lying. He's not actually real, is he?
The whole premise of the episode that he's in is that it's a guy who owns a toy store, dresses up in the costume, pretends to do superhero things to sell action figures of himself.
That is sad.
And that makes it even worse. He basically was Scooby-Dooing the entire community.
Like, the worst part is I've seen that episode once and I never once saw it again after that. That's the worst part. So maybe they didn't want us seeing it either.
As I told you before we started recording, when it came to re-showing episodes, from what I remember, Gen 1 was shown a lot, and the second season and third season of Gen 2 were shown a lot, but the Johto Journeys, which that one was a part of, was not shown that much.
Well, Johto Journeys had a lot of filler. You got to understand that. And I also, he thinks he can pull it off in that costume. Meanwhile, James pulls off a better Moltres than he does a Gligar Man, even if apparently that costume was in his closet, according to Meow. I can't believe 4Kids got away with saying stuff like that, I swear.
Also, I keep coming up on characters. I don't know this dude's name, but I remember being so annoyed when I saw him. I'm just going to turn my phone around so I can show you guys the picture, because I can't remember his name. But this dude right here.
That's supposed to be a fire breather.
I genuinely cannot remember why I can't stand him, but I just remember being like watching this episode and I was like, I cannot stand you.
I think he's using a dowsing machine to find water or a hot spring of some sort, and is a con man of some kind.
And I could not stand him at all. All
right. So my next one is a kid named Zaki.
So our first one he was on my list too. Okay, so I can get rid of that. Zaki.
Okay, so this kid who has no Pokemon of his own, has never battled anyone using someone else's Pokemon, calls Ash a loser, and spends the rest of the episode trying to catch Pikachu or steal Pikachu away from Ash.
Yeah.
Zaki was kind of and of course he's a little kid. I understand that, but dear God,
kid was.
You got to think about it this way as well. This is after Ash came in the top 16 in the tournament. This is after Ash's first tournament, so top 16 in your first attempt is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it was right after he had won the Orange Islands tournament too.
Better than I would do.
Not me. I would have won. But yeah, Zach, the worst part is he tries to grab Pikachu, he tries to hide him, and all this other sort of stuff. And he tries to get a Pokeball and throw it at Pikachu to catch it. And Ash is like, no, it can't be. I'm like, dude, Ash, Pikachu has a Pokeball that it comes from. Like, remember, if a Pokeball hits a Pokemon that's owned by somebody else, it's not going to work. Not unless you were using a Snag-a-Ball, which wasn't even invented yet. But yeah, Zach, and he complains when he catches a Bellsprout because he's like, I want Pikachu. I'm like, considering how well Bellsprout did in that one tournament round when it just beat the crap out of like Bulbasaur and a bunch of others,
right?
You're pretty sad.
I remember that Bellsprout, but that Bellsprout was like you was. Bellsprout had the
that is the only reason I've ever used a Bellsprout on my team was that episode. After I found out how bad it was, I always skipped it in Gen 2. But
at least James had his victory bell.
Yeah.
Anyways, so no need to go over Zaki, but I'm going to go with another one. I have no idea how to pronounce this name. Temachu?
I think I was familiar. I remember looking it up.
Okay, so we know Brock. We know Brock is a tempted guy. He flirts with pretty much every older woman he sees or woman that's at least around his age. Every now and then, though, he finds a girl who likes him back or just likes him in general. Tamaku, whatever her name is basically the girl who he saved from like tripping into a fountain or something, and she immediately just fell in love with him, and he's like, what is happening? And then later she falls in love with James, and then some other guy. Like, she's just so flimsy with everybody. And I get that's supposed to be kind of a joke, but I'm like, dude, one of the first girls who liked Brock, and she's just that fickle with it. That's just annoying. Like,
fickle!
Yeah. Like, I don't like characters who are flimsy with who they like, which is why if I ever do get around to my Disastrous Life of Psyche K review, Yumahara, your ass is grass. But regardless, Tamachu, whatever her name is, I just don't remember liking that episode. Except it had one line that everybody keeps coming back to. it was the line where it's like, because she wanted to marry Brock at some point, and Ash is like, huh, so Brock's really going to get married, and Misty's like, you and I will be married too someday, and Ash is like, yeah, wait, what? That's pretty much the only thing anybody remembers about that episode. That's the worst part. But Gen 2, any last qualifiers? Anything? Anybody?
I still have 2 more.
Oh God, I'm out of people then.
Okay, I'll go through these real quick.
Floor's yours.
So the first one is another Pokemon. Its name is Orville. And it's from a single filler episode in the Orange Island, or not the Orange, the Whirl Island saga. And that's the Fat Pidgey episode. Orville is the single, thin, small Pidgey, and it fucking thinks it's better than every other Pidgey on the island.
Oh,
It thinks it can go to space. Fuck Orville.
Not the show The Orville. That's a good show.
Yes. And then this is also from the Whirl Island saga, and that's from the Corsola episode. The little girl, Mika, she's trapped on the house that falls off the Corsola thing. I just have a vague recollection of her being just annoying and like she's a know-it-all at some points. I think in the episode, I could be wrong on that, but I have a feeling that it's her, because I remember seeing that episode a lot as a kid.
Okay, I guess I can understand that. I don't really have anybody else for Gen 2, Johto. So, and I don't remember those episodes very well, so I'll just have to co-sign on to that, so I can't say anything. But yeah, this is already more fun than I thought it would be. This is something. Anyways, anybody?
No, and this is on me. I'm gonna be honest. When do we meet Krogunk?
That's Gen 4.
That's Gen 4.
Yeah, we're gonna be waiting. We're gonna be waiting a little bit, but we already spoiled it at this point. So
yeah.
Okay, so Gen 3.
Before we jump into Gen 3 real quick, a lot of people find Tracy annoying, so I'm just bringing him up. I personally don't. I think he had enough of a unique personality compared to Brock. Yes, he's replacing Brock, who I think is one of the most popular characters ever from the series. But I understand that people were disappointed, but I never found him that bad.
Yeah, in the second Pokemon movie, at least in the Japanese version, they give him a really awesome character moment. That it's probably his highlight of the series, but overall, yeah, I don't hate Tracy either. There were times I found him kind of funny, but I don't know. I don't hate him as much as I hate other traveling companions. But we'll get to them. Hey, final thoughts, Gen 2, or are we done? Are we able to move on?
I think we're done.
All right, Gen 3. Can I start this one?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let's get this one. This isn't a character that I necessarily hate, but I can kind of see the hatred. Max, let's get Max out of the way.
He's on my list as well, but
Mine too.
I actually put a note next to him for it. It's certain episodes. It's
yes,
like
certain
there
episodes.
are episodes like I really liked the episode where he meets Ralts. That one is a good Max episode.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
It's when he's the know-it-all kid who's like half the age of the rest of the crew or the rest of the people, and yet he's supposed to be more knowledgeable. It's like, no, that's not how that works.
No, it's not. I even remember one episode where there was another character who was exactly like him, except a little older, and his name was Max. And I'm like, great, we have 2 of them now. Great. The worst part is everybody said it as that Tracy and Max are kind of the same person. I'm like, not really, no. Like, to me, it's one of those things where when it comes to Tracy and Max, Max's highs were higher than Tracy's, but Max's lows were way lower than Tracy's. So I can Max is one of those characters who I didn't hate at like when I was watching for the first time as a kid, but now that I got older, I'm like, oh, I can kind of see it. Especially in Battle Frontier, because I remember one episode where he's Ash is training against. No, he's battling against Lucy, the Snake Queen or the Pike Queen or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brock starts flirting with her, and it actually looks like she's like, oh, I'm actually kind of interested, and Max is just like, no, that's not happening. That's no.
No. We don't do that around here.
I wish they had figured something else out, because all Max did was become like kind of replace Misty in that aspect. Like there were episodes where he did absolutely nothing except for, oh, Brock's flirting with this person. He grabs the ear and drags him off. But that's what Misty did. Why is it?
Yeah, and it got to the point where it's just where if it was me, like hypothetically, if I joined the traveling group and he did that to me, I'd be like, hey, come here. Try that again. Try it again.
Try to get to him, brat.
Yeah. So actually, now that we're talking about more, no, I'm fully on that bandwagon. Max was not necessary. Max was, yeah. Anyways, who's next?
Jay, do you have anyone?
No, I really don't. Not besides Max. Like this season for me, like of course, or this gen, like of course, there are plenty of people that deserve it. I will admit that. But for me, like Max was really like took the cake for me. Like,
Okay, I have one other one that I was only able to think of two, and that was Morrison. I just didn't like Morrison.
Oh, wow. We have our first major disagreement. Okay, this is interesting.
And this actually, I think, is kind of a theme later on. When it comes to rivals that aren't in like the entire thing, I really, most of the time, I don't care for them. If there's large gaps, I like it when there's a main rival and they've been a part of the series, maybe not since the very first episode, but within like the first 10 episodes they're introduced and there's a specific rivalry.
So had he been introduced and used more prominently, you might have liked him more.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Because all I remember, I know that he's in at least one episode before the finals. I think maybe two, and then he appears in the finals.
Yeah.
Then everybody's like, where have you been for the majority of the show?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. He was supposed to be in earlier, but his contract. He was in a contract with another company, and he was trying to get out of it. So it turned into a whole legal fiasco. And then Morrison showed up. Yeah. You look like you're in pain for my answer.
No, I had visions of the real world when you said that. It made me a little sad.
Yeah, but I liked Morrison, but yeah, I can agree. He should have shown up and been more prominent earlier on. I can understand that.
Yeah, because I think they kind of do the same thing with Barry, but Barry's in a much larger part of Diamond and Pearl later on.
Well, that and Ash has other rivals to deal with.
Yeah, so I think I'm trying to think who in Gen 3 was he the only rival in the actual tournament?
Well, no, there was Tyson and his Meowth.
Yeah, but
Ash had no long-term rivals. It was more about May. The series felt like it was more about May than it was about Ash.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh damn! Wow, we're good with segues today because speaking of which, I'm gonna. Oh, this one's not gonna be popular. It's not gonna be good. So May is not on this list because she's a good character. One of her rivals, on the other hand, is going to be on here, and that rival is Drew. I did not like Drew. Like I don't know. He seems so. Like I can understand cocky characters, but there was something about the way he did that just got to me with his roses and his. But I guess here's the thing. I feel like Drew lost a lot on screen. Like either May would win a contest or some other random person would win a contest. But Drew would lose a lot on screen and still act cocky about it, which I never. And then he'd always show off his ribbons, like, "Hey, I got all of these." I'm like, "Yeah, but you got them off screen. That doesn't count." Like,
Yeah, that I think he won one, and it was like the first one that he's in with May, and
yeah,
then
like one or two of them maybe.
but yeah, the majority of his time was spent off screen, and it's like I know they did something later on with him and someone giving him a backstory.
Did
Like,
they?
well, when I was doing research for this, they mentioned another contestant, I think from the uh, the Hoenn Cup one, the Hoenn Ribbon Cup, where she's the winner of it, and
Was it Soledad?
possibly I don't
Was that
know.
her? Yeah, because she was the one who was like, "Oh, my friends Drew and Harley." I'm like, "Why would you be friends with these two idiots? Why would you be friends with these two morons?"
And I'm sure that's what people ask you a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. And I just tell them it's tax money.
Well, at least I know my word.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't like Drew, and I know a lot of people are gonna, which is weird because a lot of people like Drew, and I don't think it's for the reasons that I like. I don't think it's necessarily because of his character. I think it's for other reasons. But we're not here to.
Shipping.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's the best way of putting it.
You people disgust me. Anyways, who's next? Who has a character from Gen 3? Anybody? Nobody?
I guess the character development in the special that we've talked about before, or at least me and you have talked about in the Mirage Pokemon special.
Dear Lord, I forgot that was the thing.
Because, and this goes for all of the main cast that had their voice actors change at this point.
Oh goodness.
Because this is during the what was it, the Battle Frontier story arc.
Okay.
They changed the voice actors for at least Ash, and was it everybody or was it just Ash that changed?
Everybody.
So, yeah, they brought back they did bring back Misty for that thing, didn't they?
Yeah, this was during that like 2-episode period after, like, in between Ash's tournament and them just deciding what they want to do next in Kanto. Yeah, when Misty joined them for like 3 episodes or something like that.
Okay, yeah, it was just, and I think this is just because it's the first attempt to continue a show without the original voice actors that is picking up directly after. Like, there's no gap where there's a chance for a movie or something. So this special is kind of it. And they're just so awkward sounding.
So you hate the characters because of how they sound.
Yeah, and I think it's just because it's such an awkward transition.
Yeah, okay, I guess. Like, I'm fine with the voices now. The voices now are totally okay, but yeah, you can tell the Mirage special, like, something really fell off. Like, they almost sounded nervous, which I can understand, but once again, that comes with practice and experience.
Yeah, I mean, once the episodes started airing with the new voice actors, I got used to it, hearing the new people, and they got more confident in how they talked as the characters.
Yeah, worst part is when the voice change thing was like, because I didn't hear the announcement or anything, I just watched Battle Frontier and I was like, whoa. But even as a kid, I was kind of like, it's still Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Yeah, but I do have 2 more. Bless you. I do have 2 more Gen 3 characters.
Okay.
The Phantom.
You know, I try to forget about certain characters, and you just.
Do you remember who I'm talking about, though?
Vaguely,
I do not.
Remember that I just cannot.
Okay, so I've beat around the bush about this long enough in our video, so I might as well just address it. The 9th Pokemon movie sucks. It's bad. And it does not help that the villain is just sort of this generic pirate guy. It's like, oh, I have to get this legendary Pokemon. I'm like, okay, dude. The worst part is he's trying to get Manaphy. Meanwhile, there's a Kyogre in the sea that regularly shows up in the movie, basically just for trailer fodder. But still, I'm like, oh, let's see, this badass Pokemon that can flood the whole Earth, or Manaphy. And the fact that I know I shouldn't expect top tier villains from Pokemon. Not every villain has to be developed entirely, but he was just an extra level of just boring. And for a pirate, you'd think he'd have a cooler design as a pirate, but he looks completely generic. He's just a generic character all around. So yeah,
That's fair.
Okay.
But in this one, I don't feel like anybody will disagree about me with it for my final character, Rico the Pokemon Hunter. The one who captured all those coughing and Ekans.
Okay.
I don't swear hold on this show. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Agreed.
Arbok and Louise. I miss Arbok and Weezing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, any other Gen 3 characters that we missed? That just anybody? Or can we get into the real stuff?
Yeah, I guess
like
it's time to...
I feel like the much time we're spending, we might end up having to break this up into another video, man.
Jesus Christ. I thought this would be a relative... I knew this was going to be a little long, but still. But whatever. So, Gen 4... JoggerJoee, you seem to come up with a name as we were talking. So you want to just get that out of the way?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Freaking Krogan, man. And my problem with him is not the fact that, he wasn't a good Pokemon, because I'm not saying he wasn't a good Pokemon at all. He was a great quality Pokemon.
Yeah, he was super strong too.
My problem with him was the fact that every single time my boy Brock seemed to be like, yeah, I'm about to get with insert female here. Or, oh yeah, I finally found somebody that I actually really like, that I want to try to ask out on a date, that I'm going to serenade with poems of all my love. Pow! Right to the freaking side. And then he drug him off into nothingness. And we had to just sit here and be like, he's going to be all right, isn't he? He's going to be okay, right?
At some point, it should have just been like, I've been poisoned by you so many times. I've built up an immunity for it. It's weird.
You would think. And it's just like, I also want to kind of have a special nod to Brock for not building up a freaking, building up a resistance to it. Because it's like, dang, bro, he had to have done that to you, like, what, every episode? Every 2 episodes? Like, sometimes not even just once an episode. That's the thing.
I do remember specific moments where, like, because I remember he had a rivalry with Team Galactic X Toxicroak or whatever, and those would be the times where he just wouldn't even bother Brock. He would just be on guard, like, where's this thing? Where's this thing? Oh, you're flirting? Oh, no, that's cool, whatever. That's fine. And I also remember one time he tried doing it to Brock when they were talking to Cynthia, and Cynthia smiled at Krogan and he's like, not today.
Like, I'm not gonna do it this time.
Yeah, it's just like I'd be like, it's Cynthia. I can understand.
And I love how it literally was only one episode where they were like, I wonder where he takes him when he does that. And it's just like,
who cares? The audience cares. You asshole.
Right.
I do remember, like, the second episode they had Krogunk, though. They were doing this Poketch reading, like, how close are you to? It's like, oh, you guys are about as close as Pikachu and Ash. And the little kid's like, it's like you've been friends your whole life. And Brock stares at Krogunk, and Krogunk's just like, sup.
Bitch.
I liked Krogunk, but I can understand that, especially considering one time he did it, all he was saying was, don't worry, we'll get your stuff back from Team Rocket, even if... And then Dawn's like, you're normally right, but no, that was wrong. And Krogan's like, I've been doing this for like 40-something episodes. You gotta give me a little more than that, Dawn. But yeah, I get it. I liked Krogan, but I can see where you're coming from.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. I guess I'm going to start with Baron this time on mine. Now, this is another one from one of the movies. This is from the Darkrai movie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He's, from what I remember of the movie, he's already super annoying, and then they turn him into his own Licky Licky, which isn't a Pokemon I just don't like. I don't like the Lick-a-Tongue and Licky Licky line as Pokemon. I actually don't mind Jesse's Lick-a-Tongue, but just why? Why is this person a thing?
Also, wasn't he like the villain in that movie, or he turn into the villain basically?
And possibly, I've only seen the movie once all the way through. This movie, of the ones I've seen, may be the closest I come to you in the ninth movie.
Like you just don't like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have fun. I don't have good memories of that movie, but it's so much better than Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, so I'll let it go. Anyways, I do have. Oh, that's right.
Oh God.
This is more of a joke answer than anything. I mean, but one of the characters from Diamond and Pearl that I can't stand is whoever decided, you know what, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, let's have a rap theme song opening. Like that theme it's pretty crit. Like to me, it's kind of in the so bad it's good kind of way. But dear God, like no wonder it's one of the themes that hasn't been released with like as a full length song. It's just like 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh. Let's not do a full version this time.
Oh nah, they probably would like, yeah, we kind of messed up this one. And they were just like, yeah, it's fine.
Like, hey, you know, hey, Paul, can you bury this full version? Why? I kind of like it. Get out.
Just like, get out, get all the way, absolutely out.
You're lucky we already recorded your stuff for this season. Otherwise, you'd be out on the streets. I'm like, but you don't see me ever again, so. Hey, more Gen 4 people? Well, that was my joke answer, so if you have anybody else, go for it.
I really don't.
Mine kind of falls in the same thing I had with Morrison, and that's Conway. Now, again, I think he has a bit more.
Ah, damn it.
Is that another one on your list or another one you like?
No, I like Conway.
I just remember finding him, and now again, this was kind of during the period where I was starting to not watch regularly, so I remember him in like a doubles tournament with Dawn and not liking him just based on that episode. I know he comes back later on from when I went back and rewatched that series, but that's the only episode I really remember him in, and just not liking him in that episode.
Is it because he's kind of creepy?
Well, that, and because he just kind of appears behind her.
Hey.
But I just remember him being like overly cocky or stuff, and then still not doing great. Or maybe he does great. I don't remember the episode well. I just remember not liking him.
Yeah, what I do like about his character is he focuses more on strategy and throwing off his opponents, which I like because a lot of people just go for, oh, my Pokemon's the strongest, so I can win. Or if I believe hard enough, it could win. But he's just like, that's not always the case. Let me be smart about it. Let me use Trick Room to screw with Ash. But personally, I like Professor Conway. I thought he was a good character. I thought he was good. Thought I'd get a reaction from JoggerJoee out of that, but yes. I thought it was clever. Whatever. Anyways, my next character that I don't like from Gen 4, Dawn, is also not on this list.
Oh man, you were about to.
No, Dawn's fan base is scary.
I was about to say, you're going to have so many dislikes in this video.
Yeah, Dawn's not on the list. However, two of her rivals are Ursula.
Yeah.
She was the one with the Plusle and the Minun, and that's honestly all I can remember. Like, I just remember because she knew Dawn from when she was a little kid, and she was kind of cocky, and I don't really get why. I don't recall her beating Dawn, I think, ever. And once again, I could be wrong. because it's been so long, because I'm rewatching Diamond and Pearl, and I haven't seen her again yet. But dear God, I just remember, it's one thing if you're cocky, but if you have nothing to be cocky about, like, just why do you exist? Why are you here? Plus, I feel like we had enough of Dawn's childhood friends. Like, I don't know. I felt like she was the weakest out of all of Dawn's rivals.
That's fair. I definitely agree. That, yeah.
Yeah, because I can mainly focus on I think his name is Zoe, is the only one I really remember.
Yeah, Zoe and Nando are the two I like. Especially Nando because he I don't know, he's just funny. But do you guys have any more Diamond and Pearl, or do I need to do my last Diamond and Pearl one?
I think you're good to go on your last one, unless Williamson has one.
There's one more, and this might be controversial. I don't really know, and that's Dawn's Baneri. It loves Pikachu, and then somehow it is the whole reason that they make up for Dawn not going with Ash, even though she wants to, is that Baneri gets a chance to be on Pokemon TV or something. That's the vague recollection I have of the end of the series.
Yeah, something. Wait, so it wants to be successful and do things in life, and that's why you hate it.
It's just that I think they used it as a plot device at the end of the series.
Yeah,
is my main reason. Is Misty was being forced to go back to the gym to be the gym leader
because she was in choice. She wasn't good enough to do it on her own merit. She was the second choice. I'm sorry, I can't stand.
May made a specific decision. I want to go to, I think it was the Johto.
Yeah. Hey, audience, I'm just as sick of my brother as you are, so I'm gonna ditch him. Yeet.
But yeah, and then it's like they gave them actual. Here's reason for them to do it. They're the trainers. This is the reason they're having to do this. Dawn's just like, oh well, I got to stay here because Baneri got a contract to be on Pokemon TV. When did this happen? Like, who negotiated that Baneri was going to get a contract? Did Dawn's mother run it off and do that?
More importantly, how good is Dawn at negotiating to the fact that she's just able to be like, hey, we want 5 years or we walk. Also, I want merchandising. I want merchandising rights in my contract. Hell, maybe if all the game protagonists got together and just said, hey, Dawn, can you negotiate for us to get some screen time in the anime? She might have been able to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she got herself the screen time. She's a playable character in the games.
Oh God, that's right, man. We gotta talk about Dawn behind the scenes at some point. But no, I understand. Baneri kind of just that weird plot fight. Also, a little bit of an honorable mention that I just thought of: Ash's Apom, but in Diamond and Pearl. Because I remember specifically, it liked doing contests, it liked showing off and stuff like that. So Ash is like, okay, Dawn, if I give you my Apom, you give me your Weasel. Makes sense, right? Like, okay, that's fine. Then it evolves into Ambipom. And then they do that ping pong Pokemon tournament thing, and it's just like, all right, this was fun, but I'm going to go train and to be a ping pong master or something like that. So basically, it just kind of disappears, which I thought was weird. It's just like, oh, Dawn just gets this Ambipom. It's just like, no, I'm out. Peace.
I have no recollection of that. I do remember that by the end, it's not really with them anymore, but I have no recollection of Ambipom leaving in an episode.
Yeah, and I guess I'm glad we talked about the reasons people leaving and stuff like that, because Dawn's other rival, Kenny.
I don't remember that one.
He was the guy with the Prinplup. That's what it was. Prinplup. He kept calling her Dee, which wasn't even. Now that I think about it, in terms of a nickname, that didn't make that much sense either. But I don't know. I just remember towards the end of the series, the Diamond and Pearl series, he's like, hey, I want Dawn to travel with me instead of you guys. Ash, if I beat you, she travels with me. I'm like, glad to know Dawn's getting a say in this. That's
Right.
I remember this because I was debating putting him on my list as well, but just based on that line when I was doing research.
Yeah, and the worst part is, then he beats Ash. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, Ash. Look, you don't have to win every tournament, but this is one of those battles I kind of feel like you had to win, but it's just like, no. And then it takes Brock talking to Kenny to be like, hey, look, like, the worst part, I don't even remember the conversation be like, hey, she's her own person, she's in control of that. It's just like, oh, well, here's what you got to do. I'm like, really? Brock, your friend is kind of, whatever. And then in the end, Dawn finally steps up and says, yeah, I'm not traveling with you. My contract's running up. I can't be in the show anymore. Ash is too dumb for my team. I'm out. He didn't even know what 10 times 10 was. Like, just let's go.
But are you done?
Yeah, you can. I was about to say, if you have a closing point, you can say it.
Well, no, I have a transition to Gen 5.
Okay, yeah, we're done with Gen 4. Let's move on. Oh, Jesus, this is gonna get worse.
So
Should we say a disclaimer for this part?
This, as I said earlier, this is based on the anime, and again, I've only seen certain episodes. I have not watched all of Gen 5, and I will never watch all of Gen 5. I will tell you that now. I almost want to go through my entire list.
I was about to say, not only that, but this is where things start getting muddy. We're going to start having more characters for each region, particularly Gen 5 and Gen 7, because, oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But as Alex said, Ash gets stupid, and I don't remember him getting that bad in Gen 4, but in Gen goddamn 5, he goes from being a finalist in a tournament to, oh, I'm losing to the guy who just got his new Pokemon.
Okay,
now again,
to be fair, his Pikachu was like out of electricity or something like that. So it was technically injured at the time.
I still call bullshit.
Oh no, it is, but it's a protected loss. But yeah.
If you're what should be at this point a level 100 Pikachu versus a level 5 Snivy, and your Pikachu's at even like a quarter health, it should still be so fast that it one-shots the Snivy.
Okay, well, but you have to remember, levels don't mean jack in the Pokemon anime. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, my Corphish is at level 27? First of all, how would they even know that?
Once.
Yes, once. That's not enough. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's probably their line of thinking. But yes, like you said, Ash just, oh boy. Unova was not good to Ash.
No.
Is any gen really that good to Ash?
No, but he didn't deserve it regardless.
Through Gen 4, it was consistent that he got a little bit better, and he didn't always pull out his Pokedex for, oh, it's a Pidgey. Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah. Oh shit! No, I'm upset because I remember somebody from Gen 3 that I hate. But we're already here.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we talk. I like Ash in Gen 3, but during the Hoenn season, I do hate Ash. Not the Ash in the show, but during the transitions, during Trainer's Choice Ash, when he's like, trainers, which one of these Pokemon evolve into Seviper? If you picked Arbok, you're right. You're a fucking liar. You are a liar. What is wrong? You should know this stuff. What's wrong with you?
Oh god,
Joe, you look like you are in pain.
Just thinking about the trashing of that. Oh my god.
The fact that the show was created by the Pokemon Company and they still got their own material wrong is like, how?
Yeah, and they labeled Beautifly as Nuzleaf.
Yeah, Gen 3 was not good for their mid-transitions.
Yeah. It got better during Advanced, but at that point, we'd all just given up. If they had gotten their facts right, I would be happy if they did that nowadays, like Trivia and stuff like that. But once again, the information would have to be right because, oh god. But back to what generation? 5. Anyways, we're talking about Ash. Ash is terrible in Gen 5. Okay.
I would keep going, but I'll pass it over. So whoever wants to go, if they have someone.
I feel like you definitely have one for Gen 5, and it's seemingly the easiest choice. Joe. Iris. Good God. I hate Iris. A lot.
Agreed.
It's just like, first of all, it's not even necessarily just the, oh, you're such a kid thing. It's like, aren't you the same age as him? What are you saying that for? Especially considering since Ash pretty much de-levels himself in black and white, I can almost understand why she'd be so dismissive of him. But she felt like a Misty, but not as well done at her best moments. Not only that, but the one thing I hated is one episode in particular where Ash's rival, Trip, shows up, and he has like a Vanillux, whatever it's called. And she hides from it because she's a Dragon-type trainer. She's like, Dragon-type Pokemon are weak against ice. I'm like, that's not a reason for you to be scared of this ice cream cone-looking Pokemon. It's literally one of the most adorable things I've ever seen. Why are you scared of it?
Yeah, I agree. She treats Ash like a kid, like she's better and older than him. She's the same age, and they don't have any development to show that she's some sort of Pokemon, like that she's a gym leader, that she's something that would show that she's done something worth being able to brag the way she does.
Now that I think about it, I think in a later tournament, not the actual league tournament, but I think there's a tournament where she beats Ash, which is, wow. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like Iris. But who's your next character?
I always struggle to pronounce this name. I think it's Cillian.
Cylon.
Yes, that's it.
Oh.
He is literally. All they did was take Brock, remove most of the personality except for the fact that he cooks, and brought him back.
But Williamson, you have to remember, he had like cooking puns and cooking related lines and stuff.
Yeah, well, Brock made the same jokes. Jelly donut. I run out of other ones, but
I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
Yeah, literally, they took the bare minimum of Brock's personality when it comes to that, and then made that this entire character's personality.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's not even like it's necessarily, oh, well, he replaced Brock, but no, it's just he was a poor replacement for Brock. Brock has other replacements, which we could talk about. We'll probably talk about more the next time we do a video like this, when we talk about Pokemon characters that we love, which should be, you would think would be easier, but it's not. Okay, so we did Iris, we did Cylon. I do have another one. Skyla, the flying gym leader.
Never saw her.
Oh no! Here's what it is. Ash and the gang show up to the gym, and she gets back from flying a plane, and she's like, "Okay, hey, everybody in line, and whoever was here first, I'm gonna battle you." She picks this kid. The kid shows off all of his Pokemon. And one of his Pokemon is like an electric type, and has an advantage against flying Pokemon. And she sees that and immediately declares the battle over. She's like, all right, the battle's over. Here's your badge. I know you would win. And she's like, no, you're supposed to test these people in battle. And the whole reason she says it isn't like, oh, well, she has a confidence issue, or, oh, well, she doesn't want her Pokemon getting hurt or anything like that. It's just simply, no, I want time to fly my planes as a hobby. I'm just like, really? So you're wasting everybody's time. And if you happen to have a grass Pokemon with you, then she'll see this, oh, well, my Pokemon are stronger than you because of type advantage. So try again next time. I'm like, we haven't even battled yet. You're screwing these people over just because Not even a good if it was an understandable reason, I'd be okay with it. But nope, they're just like, nope, just no.
I can understand that based on as I said, I never got that far.
There are other black and white characters, but we'll get to them.
I'm just gonna just to get the last three that I remember out of the way. I'm gonna group these three together because they're three rivals for Ash for this gen.
Oh, for
Trip,
Ash, okay.
Trip, Stefan, and Cameron. Now,
really?
Trip is, in my opinion, because I've only seen him in 2 episodes, I think, and that's maybe 3, because I saw like the first episode of the tournament arc at the end of the series.
Right.
And then like 2 episodes early on. He's a watered down Paul. He doesn't abuse his Pokemon like Paul does, but he's cocky, smart mouthed a little bit, and just like, oh yeah, I'm great. You suck. You need to follow my style.
If anything, to me he seemed like a more like watered down Gary to an extent. Like, I feel like Trip is one of those characters who I don't think I'll ever hate. Not because I like him or anything, but Trip's just one of those characters I'm just like, I mean, he's okay. Like, he's there.
And then the other two, well, Stefan, I saw like 1 episode from the very start of the tournament arc. And I think the only reason I put Stefan on this list is because I kind of compared him to Morrison, and I didn't really remember him. So you could probably take him away.
His main shtick was everybody pronounced his name wrong. Like, it's like, oh, thanks, Stephen. He's like, it's Stefan, but like, whatever. Like, even the narrator got his name wrong at one point. But
and from what I read, they didn't actually keep that up, like they do with oh god, what's his name? Bitch from Bitch and Cassidy.
No, his name was Hutch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Cameron, from what I could tell, his entire thing was that he's always late. Apparently, I read somewhere that he missed a tournament completely, and from the episode I remember, he almost didn't actually make the actual tournament because he didn't show up to registration on time.
That's such an odd reason to hate a character, but sure, why not? The only thing I remember about Cameron is one line he said, and Ash was like, "Whoa, you evolved! Whoa, your Pokemon got so strong." And Cameron's like, "That's because I evolved it. Maybe if you actually evolved your Pokemon, they'd actually be stronger." And I'm like, "Oh."
As I said, again, these characters might be in like half the episodes for all I know, spread out between them. But I've only watched like the first 10 episodes and like 1 episode here and there through Black and White, so I don't know.
And once we get to 100 subscribers, you will watch all of Black and White, the whole 3 or 4 seasons of it.
As long as I can skip the first opening, I will.
Oh, that's another character. Whoever decided the first Black and White Pokemon opening, because it's not great. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lump my last 2 characters in. Burgundy, I think that's her name, or Burundi, whatever that, and Georgia. One of them was Cylon's rival, one of them was Iris's rival. I just don't remember them doing anything or being that interesting. One of them kind of being mean to Cylon, even though, yeah, he basically kind of deserved it because he's Cylon, he deserves it. But I don't know. The rivals in Black and White just weren't all that interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason I didn't like them, was when Ash has a main rival, it's supposed to be memorable. Gary is, like, throughout the first 2 series, Gary is better at everything that Ash does, literally. Like, he catches all the Pokemon. The only place he gets all the badges first. He just loses the tournaments first.
He has 10 badges in the first region somehow.
Well, they've revealed that there's, like, every city has them, and then there's other cities there. For some reason, Ash doesn't challenge these gyms.
He's not that bright. Anyways, Gen 5, we're set. All right.
I think so. And at the end of this one, I'm going to bow out because after Gen 5, I will be 100% honest with you guys. I really stopped watching after Gen 5.
You haven't seen Gen 6.
I've always intended to go back and watch, but Gen 5 was like that last, like, And I think it's because of the timing of it. At the end of Gen 5, as far as the TV show, I was really kind of burnt out. And I've always intended to go back. I just haven't.
Gen 6, all of Gen 6 is on Hulu. It is worth a watch. Which is why, honestly, Gen 6 is going to be super quick because I only have 2 characters on here.
Same.
All right, but before y'all get into it, like I said, I'm going to bow out of this one. I've enjoyed the time. Hope I'll be in the next one, maybe. If not, then I'll see you guys when I see you. It's been great. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. If not, I mean, it happens, but...
Before you go, where can they, the viewers find you?
Okay.
How you remember that?
I forgot. I'm gonna be honest. You can follow me on Twitter at Jogger_Joe with 2 E's. So that's JOGGER_JOEE. Also, my YouTube channel by the same name. Well, without the underscore, of course. But either way, that's all for me, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Hasta luego.
And we never saw him again after that. But anyways, Gen 6. I only have 2. Hoopa. From the Hoopa movie.
That one's on my list.
Oh, all right, yeah. It's annoying. It talks a lot, and it keeps saying, "Were you surprised?" And I'm like, "No, I wasn't surprised. This movie's not over yet. This movie's too damn long."
The Hoopa ring.
Yeah, it wasn't a good move. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a good character. It was just annoying, like just Hoopa.
I was rooting at the end of that movie for all the legendary Pokemon to win the battle and kill it.
Jesus. Goodness gracious.
And this one, I've only watched through Gen 6 once, and I agree, I like Gen 6. Minette. I just find...
Miette?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Miette? The blue-haired girl, Serena's rival?
Yes.
All right, here, let's hear you out.
It's... Her entire thing is that she likes Ash and then makes fun of Serena for liking Ash. Yeah. It's when she's in the whatever they call hers, the Princess Cup or whatever. She's fine when she's doing that stuff, but when she's on the other episodes that she comes in is when I find her annoying.
Yeah, it's funny because the more I read into it and just everything, it doesn't seem like she has a crush on Ash. It just seems like she's trying to get Serena to be like, dude, go for it. Go for it before somebody else, before obligatory girl traveling companion number 74 shows up and tries something. I don't know, because I never found her crush on Ash to be believable. That's just me, though. That's, I don't know.
I could see that. I just found, as I said, it's the episodes that she comes in as a side character that, because I consider when she's in rival form, she's a much better character when they're doing this stuff or preparing for things. But when there's like 3 or 4 episodes where she comes in extra.
Yeah, it's just like, I honestly find her character to be hilarious because plus I just like, truth be told, everybody, I just like watching Serena suffer. It's just funny. I watch a video every night before I go to sleep. I watch a video of Serena failing, and it makes for good thought. It makes for good dream fodder. I'm sure the Serena fan base will be 1,000% understanding of me saying all of this, right?
This video is going to go viral, and it's going to have a whole bunch of dislikes.
It's not going to go viral.
It's going to, you know what? It's going to go viral just like the Pokemon Direct did, and have just as many dislikes.
I will put Williamson's email and number at the bottom of this video so everybody knows where to direct their complaints to.
I will not answer any unknown numbers, and I delete most emails.
You say that now, but most of those nasty messages will be from me. Anyways, pretty much my only other character I didn't like from Gen 6 of the anime was one of Serena's other rivals. Nini, was that her name? She was the one with the pigtails and the skirt and the weird lip thing.
I don't remember her. I'm pulling up a picture.
Exactly. Or part of her thing is I don't remember her. I feel like most rivals, even if whether you're in the right or in the wrong, they should teach you something. I don't feel like Nini taught anything or did anything. Like,
Yeah.
she showed up once in the episode and then just kind of showed up every now and then. I don't know.
Sorry, give me 1 second while
I think it's N-I-N-I.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, I seem to dislike characters that just don't do anything. That's my thing.
I can understand that. There. I think I found her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she has. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I
don't even know
look at
what
her,
it
I
is.
remember her. Okay, before we move on, I didn't want to put them on there because they're a one shot that I didn't find terribly annoying. But what about the mirror episode where they have
I like the mirror. Well, wait, which characters are you talking about first?
just the mirror versions, like how
Of
Ash is
everybody?
Ash is a wuss, Serena's a kind of a bully. I don't remember Bonnie and Clement that episode.
Clement was like an adventurer type, and I remember he stomped on Meowth at one point, which was kind of funny to watch. And Bonnie was like kind of well spoken, and Clement didn't believe in science, which was shocking to see.
Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to bring up on this gen was Bonnie. A lot of people feel that she's Max again as another young kid, but I really don't get that.
I don't see that in this. Besides the fact that she's young and she's a little kid, she can be a little annoying at times. But I found Bonnie to be endlessly charming. She's spoiler alert. She's on my other list of characters I love. I think she's a great character.
I agree. But I hear that people put her in the same category as Max. I think it's because they're like similar ages.
Yeah. It seems more like I heard stuff that before the series started, like, oh, Bonnie's just going to be another Max. And now they're like, oh, never mind. Because I feel like a lot of the hate for her stopped maybe even after the first half of the first season. I don't know. I feel like it slowed down, but yeah,
I think it did, but I just wanted to bring it up just because of the comparison.
Yeah.
That's the thing when you compare them. Max was a know-it-all and tried to outsmart people who had experience. It's like, and Bonnie's, from what I remember, Bonnie tries to learn from everybody, and like, she wants to be a trainer, so she asks her brother to catch the Pokemon she wants, and she still raises them.
Yeah, she actually raises them, which I thought itself was really cool, because kids, they got short attention spans, but she's like, no, I'm going to pay attention to this. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to love it and name it Richard. I do love that one gag from like the first episode of X, Y, and Z where it's like, who's that Pokemon? And it shows the little Zygarde. It's like, and the whole cast is just like, and she's like, it's squishy. I'm like, sure, why not? Squishy works.
We'll go with that.
But yeah, I don't see the hate. Like, I think Bonnie was one of the better characters. But we're not here to talk about good characters. But lastly,
that's for a later video, possibly.
Yeah, eventually, the next six to 18 years. Anyways, any last generation?
Well, we'll talk about Gen 8 at the very end, but time for the last completed generation.
Oh goodness, this is going to be a rough one, folks. Just bear with us. All right, you start this time.
All right. I'm trying to decide which of my two. I only have two on here because I wanted to limit myself.
You know who you want to say. Your least favorite character in Sun and Moon. You know who you want to say.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. It's Sophocles. He's just... They've taken literally, like, they didn't even wait a generation. He's literally Clement. He's supposed to be a genius and an inventor and uses electric Pokemon, but then made him kind of useless, and he always complains about doing anything that isn't involved. Now again, this is the other generation that I stopped watching after I think the first series of it.
He doesn't get much better. And that's another thing. They even took because Clement whenever they would run somewhere, Clement would always be out of breath because he's like, oh, I don't. And they kept that with Sophocles, so it's just like, wow, you're really just giving us everything.
Clement complained on an occasion, but from at least the first series of Sun and Moon, every time they go running or swimming or anything that involves physical activity, he spends the entire time complaining whenever they go back to his character.
Yeah, I don't like Sophocles either. He seems to be the least favorite companion in Sun and Moon, and yeah,
I'm going through all of the other companions at the school. I like most of them based on the episodes I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of changed Kiawe's character for no real reason, but that's another point. That's for another day. Anyways, my turn.
Yes, go ahead.
Ooh. Professor Samson. I can't. Your jokes aren't funny. Like he would constantly make puns involving Pokemon's names and make faces with them too. It's not even necessarily that the fact that the jokes aren't funny. It just got to a point where they really didn't start to make sense when you started to think about them. Like there were times he'd say it, and I'd be like, I don't. Where's the joke? I don't get it. It.
The other thing I was thinking of, you have a region professor already in Professor Kukui. I'm trying to remember, is Samson Oak in the games at all?
I want to say yes, but not nearly as much as Kukui, from what I remember.
I don't remember because you only spend like a few minutes to get the items at the school, so you don't really need anything there. It's one of those.
It's like what we just have to throw in a cousin just because. Why not?
My money's on that they the voice actor, because the voice actor's the same from what I remember.
Okay,
as the regular. They ended up, when they were writing out his contract, they ended up putting an extra 0 in it somewhere. So they were like, oh well, since we put that extra 0 and it's already signed by both parties, we're just going to have you come in more.
It's just like, is my character going to be good? No, of course not. It's the Sun and Moon. Everything in Sun and Moon is
That's why if you go back and you look at Just Right, he's obviously placed over someone else.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay, I feel like I'm surprised when we were going over this list, we didn't say this next person though. Rotom Dex.
Oh my god, I completely forgot. I blacked that out.
Dear Lord. Like, look, I guess my biggest problem with Rotom Dex is it talks too damn much. I understand it giving like basic information every now and then speaking up, but it felt like this thing got its own episode sometimes. Like, what was the point?
It did. I remember an episode now that you mention it, where it was the first one where it's Special Investigator Rotom Dex. And it's like, and the entire episode is centered around it trying to figure out how I think either Rockruff or Litten is getting out of the house or something.
Yeah, and also another one where a Z crystal gets misplaced, and it blames Kiawe at some point, and Kiawe gets pissed. It's just
Yeah, as I said, I completely blocked it out. Mainly, I mean, I complained about the voice acting in one special because by the time the episodes aired, they were comfortable.
Yeah.
But this thing's voice actor, I'm sorry, but they shouldn't have hired anyone. It's like, they should have done one mechanical voice and been done with it.
Yeah, just one mechanical, like, hey, it's this type of Pokemon, et cetera, about the information. That's the thing. It's not even like it's not even that the voice is bad per se. It's mechanical, high pitched, generally what they use for Pokedex. But it's the fact that we have to hear prolonged periods of that. And I'm sure whichever voice actor was doing Rotom Dex is I'm sure they're great at their job. I'm sure they've done other stuff. They're going to find tons of work. But the voice itself didn't work for a long-term character. Maybe just every now and then just telling us what this Pokemon does.
Yeah, I agree. I did not like Rotom Dex at all.
Yeah. And the last character I think that's on my list is basically, I don't think you've seen this character, this Pokemon.
Probably not, if it's later on.
Poipole, or whatever that purple thingy was.
Okay, I mean, I have one from the games, but I've never...
It just got like, I don't know. I felt like it caused just a lot of trouble involved with the gang and everybody else. Also, Beware.
I like Beware.
Well, early on, I didn't like Beware, but after a while, I grew to like it. I guess the worst thing for me was when Team Rocket actually beat Ash. I was like, oh my god, we can do it! We can win! We can win! And Beware's just like, no, you're coming with me. You're coming back with me. I'm just like, 20-something years we've been waiting for this.
Yeah, I can see that. I like that it was a different way for them to, rather than them get exploded out of the atmosphere, they were carried off by this Pokemon. But then it cared for them deeply because it was giving them food.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like, because I mean, if you go back, it's dark as fuck when you think about like Gen 1 and Gen 2, like late Gen 1, early Gen 2, and I don't really remember it as much in Gen 3. But Team Rocket was starving. Like, they talk about going hungry for like weeks on end.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. They're 16 years old at this point. They're still growing. So the fact that they're starving themselves to complete their mission is like, what?
True, but on the other hand, they've had several jobs before, and it's implied they're better at those jobs than they are at being Team Rocket, which is odd. It's just because they have that stand in Sun and Moon, and they seem to be successful. And it's just like, but they're still starving. You guys should have money, or are the writers not paying you enough? What's happening? What's happening here? Do you guys need to unionize? What's the deal?
Yeah, it's just like, so it's nice to see the opposite, where they've got plenty of food, and even though they're not providing it for themselves, but Beware's taking care of them. And I think I haven't seen the episode, but I think it's because Beware lost its small pre-evolution
or
stuff,
whatever it's called. Yeah,
and it's trying to make up for it with Team Rocket. And I think there's an episode later that's involved again.
Yeah, but anyways, those are pretty much all the characters. I feel like every character in Sun and Moon had some moments where they struggled, but those were the main ones, really. Anybody for you?
The only one I can think of left is I wasn't a big fan of Ash in Gen 7.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mainly, now, again, I haven't seen the end, and spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it, I know he wins the tournament at the end. So this is supposed to be like his big thing. But it really feels like he took another step back at the end. It's like, at this point, he's back at end of, like, I almost want to put Sun and Moon as it takes place after Ash loses in the Hoenn League, but before Battle Frontier.
Right.
If I could edit the timeline, because he kind of has some memories, so he's still not the perfect trainer, but then he's there. So, but then again, that messes up the fact that, okay, now he talks about not winning a tournament, so I don't know. It's just, he takes a step back, in my opinion, in this season by comparison to Gen 6.
Especially since he had to cheat during that one school presentation. That was just weird.
Yeah, and then didn't he lose then they win, then they say he wins in the tournament?
His Rowlet falls asleep.
Which in other things in this, like in previous series, there's like so-and-so used hypnosis. Well, the Pokemon falls asleep and they call it fainting. It's
Yeah.
really... Again, I'm looking for consistency, and I know I'll never get it.
Yeah, but that's because Ash threw such a hissy fit backstage the first time he did it, and he threatened to walk out if they ever did that again. But they had to switch it up this time.
Other than that, I never got far enough in to say, well, I don't like Lusamine, or I don't like How. I never actually saw How. So.
Yeah, but I guess, I'd say we should move on to Gen 8, but we've only seen 12 episodes of the new series, so it's hard to say who we like and dislike at this point. Plus, if you want to know our thoughts on the characters, you can just go back to our first part of the Pokemon Journeys review.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anyone that stands out, and it's no, because they haven't had a very annoying character yet.
Only when Go rejected Scorbunny. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think the Nickets were cute, someone might find them annoying, but I don't think so because they're teamed up with Scorbunny, and then they show Scorbunny that they can live on their own.
Yeah. Even if you did hate anybody in the series, no one's going to be better than Francois the Magnemite.
Oh yeah, Francois needs to be he's up there with Lord Helix. He's one of Lord Helix's guardian angels. Is Francois the Magnemite?
Of course. Also on this list, whoever decided the first Sun and Moon opening. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So. We talked about that earlier, though, as well. When we do it, are we doing the Sun and Moon dance, which is almost the exact same as the Journeys dance?
The Journeys dance is at least funny. If we get to, hypothetically, if we get to, 50 subscribers, then maybe we'll do the Pokemon Journeys dance. We're going to have to wait a little longer for the Sun and Moon one. I'd actually have to be getting something out of that. I can't do it.
Yeah, we have some ideas for possible milestones that we'll release that are special, different videos. They aren't reviews, they aren't lists, they aren't discussions. They're just fun.
Fun for them, not for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's our list, basically. Unless you have anybody else, final thoughts, anybody you hate the most? Because I can say it's still Rico the Hunter messing with Arbok and wheezing. I hope he starves, honestly.
I really can't think of anyone else. Again, if I had enough time to watch every episode so I could do this probably would go on forever when I found, oh, well, this character was annoying, but they're a one-off. I did a lot of one-offs, I know. So.
Yeah, well, I feel like I did more just consistent characters that were longer there. Anyways, this was a long one, but I enjoyed it. But overall, do you agree? What do you guys think? Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Just let us know what you think. Who did we miss? Did we change your minds on any characters? And don't worry, we'll do a video about Pokemon characters that we love eventually.
Yeah, and we are trying to get other people that you've seen on this channel before back on. Ragland, maybe maybe some of the other people we've had on, but I don't know. We've got to find the right time. We all have new schedules.
Yeah, and it just has to be something that everybody knows about. We can't do too many videos where people don't know what they're talking about. That was
kind of our first Pokemon video.
Yeah, which I should make a private video so nobody ever sees it again.
Go watch that video after you finish watching this video.
Nope. But anyways, that's the list. We are the Anime Egotists. Where our waifus and husbandos are quality, but we are not. This is Foster.
And Williamson.
JoggerJoee! So that's what he really sounds like. And this has been the Anime Egotists. And with the Anime Egotists, if you disagree, you're wrong. but we still love you? Love them?
Leave a comment of who we forgot down in the comments below.
Yeah. And we will see you guys later.